If you ask me why I thought gaming was popular, I'd probably say that on a surface level, it's fun. But on a deeper level, I'd say it's because gaming allows you to experience worlds that you could never even imagine. It throws you into narratives that are constructed with so much depth. Gaming allows you to become a multitude of different characters, do things you never thought you'd experience, and truly become the main character of your own story. Not all games are created equal. Different genres have different experiences, some that may make you rage and others that may make you cry, some that focus heavily on a storyline and the characters, and others are purely a test of your will against the mechanics. While each game has its own uniqueness, many follow a similar path, forming genres and sub-genres of games, each presenting its own journey. Like grief, each genre carries us through different emotional cycles, flavoured with different themes and mechanics, but ultimately leading us to the same place. This is the 5 stages of a survival game. You awake in a world unfamiliar to you, with nothing but the clothes on your back, and often even that you have to work for. The world doesn't wait for you to catch your breath, get your bearings. Oceans stretch endlessly, forests whisper secrets you don't yet understand, and mountains loom, making you question your tiny, fragile existence. You arrive small, unarmed, unsure, and completely unprepared, and yet, you endure. You're staring at a bunch of sticks, rocks and leaves, wondering which one will actually save your life, and yeah, that's a genuine question. The sun's setting, night is coming, and the mobs, predators, or environmental hazards are already judging you silently. Your brain screams, "Why didn't I watch a YouTube guide first?" But your pride says, "I've got this." Well, maybe. Maybe you punch a tree for the first time, thinking, "I can do this," only to realize you have no idea what this even is, before proceeding to punch everything that could possibly gain you a hypothetically important resource. You stare at a blank inventory, question why you skipped the tutorial, and wonder if that random stick in your pocket is actually life-saving or just decorative. The sun sets, shadows stretch, and every sound becomes a potential threat. The first night hits like a revelation. Darkness creeps in as sounds intensify. That random movement in the shadows is not just decoration. You're genuinely scared, but then, maybe by accident, maybe by genius, you manage a tiny victory. Lighting a fire, chopping some wood, or successfully cooking a meal that isn't a raw disaster. It feels monumental. Every small success builds confidence. Confusion slowly gives way to curiosity. You begin to understand patterns. You notice which resources are useful, which creatures are harmless, and which paths lead to safety or to death. This is survival. It doesn't hold your hand, it throws you into chaos and rewards patience, curiosity, and yeah, occasionally luck. Every misstep teaches, every tiny victory thrills, every death, and there will be many, becomes a story you'll retell, preferably with some nervous laughter. And that chaos, that's exactly what hooks us, keeps us coming back for more, for the thrill of being alive in a world that doesn't care if you survive. It's that mix of panic and curiosity that makes the loop so irresistible. And let's be honest, nothing hits harder than that first night where you realize you're probably going to die, and then you do. Spectacularly. Eventually, the fog starts to lift. The world starts to make sense. You begin experimenting. What if I build this here? Can I survive this jump? Will this random stick finally do something useful? And slowly, the world becomes a playground with rules you're beginning to understand. Crafting your first useful tool is a triumph. That first trap that actually catches something, pure magic. Finding a hidden grove, a tiny stream, or a cluster of resources feels like winning the lottery. Every experiment, every small victory teaches you more about the systems, and you realize that the game was never punishing. It was just waiting for you to pay attention. Humor sneaks in during these experiments. Maybe you accidentally drink unboiled water and give yourself parasites. Maybe a creature destroys your fragile shelter while you're out searching for food. Maybe you accidentally take yourself out with a tree you just chopped down. The higher the stakes, the more the humour sneaks in, giving you that much needed relief to the pressure building up to persevere and survive. Exploration becomes thrilling. You notice small details, a tree shaped just right, a patch of berries in the distance, the subtle flicker of a creature in the undergrowth. Curiosity overtakes fear, and confidence begins to build. You construct a base that isn't just a cube of dirt. You confidently source food to prepare rather than just scoffing down berries. You equip yourself with crude armour, giving you a sense of hope against the ongoing difficulty curve that you know will probably just keep getting steeper. Discovery is magical. It turns a hostile, chaotic environment into a place of possibility. Every hidden nook, every clever strategy, and every successfully executed plan reinforces that you can survive, thrive, and even have fun while you're doing it. You're not just enduring the world anymore, you're engaging with it, shaping your story and finding joy in its systems. And the best part, there is so much left to uncover. Then, just as you start to feel a little bit comfortable, the game reminds you who's in charge. If there's anything consistent about survival games, it's their ability to catch you out just as you start to feel comfortable. Predators roam silently. Storms rage without warning. You accidentally rage a giant bear and get caught in a fight for your life that quickly turns south, and you realize that your death means you lose all of the treasured resources you just painstakingly collected. You start noticing subtle clues. The flicker of movement in the distance, the rustle of leaves, the change in wind. Every new area you explore brings a fresh wave of anxiety, requiring you to continuously adapt your weapons, your skills, and your expectations. Food becomes harder to manage, resources become rarer and harder to collect. Dying becomes a personal offense against you. Your inventory is on the line, and there's nothing worse than losing 4 hours worth of resource hunting to a mid-tier monster, or worse, to a poorly timed swim in a pool of lava. It's fear at its purest, personal, visceral, and immediate. It's not just about in-game mechanics, it's about the emotions they evoke. You become hyper-aware, constantly adjusting, and even laughing at yourself for panicking over a harmless squirrel. Because survival is as much about managing your reactions as it is about mastering the world. Fear teaches, challenges, and rewards in equal measure. And just when you start to get comfortable, a new area unlocks, bringing with it new challenges that instantly turn your confidence right back into anxiety. Eventually, you hit the grind, the repetition that separates dabblers from true survivors. Gather wood, hunt food, repair tools, scout for resources, repeat. Day turns to night and the loop never ends. Scarcity keeps you tense, danger never sleeps. You spend hours mining a rare resource only to misclick and lose it all. Frustrating? Absolutely, but deeply satisfying when you're successful. The grind teaches patience, foresight, and respect for the systems at play. Every repeated task is a small triumph when it finally succeeds. You refine strategies, optimize routines, and watch your world slowly come together. That base you built survives the storm. Your crops yield just enough. You finally gather enough resource to upgrade your pickaxe. And somewhere in the monotony, you start noticing the subtle beauty of the world. The sunrise glinting on your walls, the wind rustling through the trees, the satisfaction of systems working smoothly. It becomes tedious. You can only do the same task over and over so many times before boredom sets in. But you're determined to reach your goal. You need to progress. You need to discover what's next. I'll just hit this next tier and then I'll take a break, you tell yourself, knowing full well that you'll find just one more thing to do afterwards. The grind might seem like a punishment, but it's a crucible. It transforms chaos into routine, confusion into confidence, panic into preparation. And through repetition, you begin to master the world. The rhythm of survival becomes second nature. You are no longer struggling blindly, you are navigating deliberately, experimenting cleverly, and enjoying the satisfaction of hard-earned mastery. The grind is the heartbeat of survival. Survive the grind and you'll be rewarded, although maybe not in the way you're expecting. You have this moment, it clicks. You've learnt the systems, mastered the mechanics, and the world opens up. That tiny collapsing shelter is now a sprawling fortress. Scarce resources are now efficient networks. Paths that once seemed impossible now feel familiar. The chaos, the panic, the repeated failures, they've all led here. Survival transforms into exploration, creativity, and expression. You construct intricate structures, devise efficient resource farms, and experiment boldly with systems you once barely understood. That forest that terrified you, now it's a canvas. That ocean that seemed endless, now it's a playground. Danger still exists, but it's tempered by skill, knowledge, and confidence. Every early death, every ridiculous mistake, every chaotic night becomes a story you can laugh about now and relive every time you convince a mate to play the same game just to see if they make the same mistakes as you. The payoff is more than survival. It's mastery, freedom, and creativity. It's the joy of seeing your world thrive, the thrill of navigating a fully understood ecosystem, and the satisfaction of overcoming challenges that once seemed insurmountable. Every choice matters, every triumph is earned, and every small victory compounds into a world of wonder. Survival has become an art, challenge has become joy, and you are the storyteller of your own epic journey. Survival games are messy, frustrating, beautiful, and absurd. From confusion to discovery, fear to grind, and finally, reward. Every moment becomes part of a story that's uniquely yours. Every mistake, every triumph, every ridiculous death shapes your journey and teaches you something about the world and about yourself. The joy of survival isn't just in making it through the night or building a perfect base. It's in the chaos that precedes mastery, the lessons learned from panic, and the humour found in the unexpected. It's about noticing the small details. These moments, tiny as they may seem, are what makes survival games unforgettable. And as new worlds appear, oceans to explore, forests to conquer, skies to soar, you're invited to start the cycle again, to dive in, fail spectacularly, learn, adapt, and eventually thrive. The journey never truly ends because each world is a canvas, each challenge an opportunity, and every failure a lesson in disguise. So where are you on your survival journey? Are you still punching trees in confusion, nervously lighting your first fire? Or are you gazing over a fortress you built with your own hands, marveling at the world you've conquered? Whatever stage you're at, one thing is certain, the adventure continues, and there's always another world to explore.